Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's been a little while since I've touched Dodge. Video wise, probably not. I don't remember last time I worked on this was for a video. But it's been like 2 weeks since I've touched this. For one big reason, my front wheel, I'm pretty sure I said in the last video on this that I kept hearing a clunk in the front wheel. Well, one night I decided to touch it. I'm going to sit down in my nice little tractor seat. One night I decided to touch it, and I pulled the drum off, and out came brake shoe lining. The complete lining. The clunk was the adhesive they used for the lining on the shoe broke loose, and as I hit the brakes one of the times, or something happened, it got free, spun around, hit the other one, completely disintegrated it. There wasn't even evidence of there being another brake shoe in there. And it just kept spinning around and like locking up whenever I'd hit the wheel, or whenever I hit the brakes. So I haven't touched this in a while because I can't move it. Well, I can move it, I just can't stop. The other wheel I decided to take a look at. The lining looked like it was starting to come off too. So that's a bit of an issue. The back wheels are most likely fine. The brakes were actually new. My grandfather, he redid all the brakes and whatnot, so everything's brand new. Like, it's barely used. It's just been sitting. But front brakes are the ones that were starting to separate. The back ones are fine. If I hear a clunk, I'll get more brakes. But yeah, so that's why it's been sitting here. And I want to do just a little bit of work to it, because I have, pretty sure, yeah, I need a cigarette lighter. Just open it up and sit down. Because I have a spot for a cigarette lighter right there. And I found one that'll actually work. So I want to put it in there. I just need a washer or something to put in back because it's not tight enough. So that'll be very easy. The wiring's already hanging down there. Because I was trying to use a different one, but that didn't work. Put that back in there. Does this even have power still? It does. When I turn on my marker lights, 3 out of 4 come on. It's that tail fin that doesn't come on. It's not the bulb that's burnt out, because there's only one bulb for 3 different things. It's brake light, turn signal, and markers. So that does 2 of 3, so I'm pretty sure it's the wire. Sums up with the wire in there. And I would also like to poke around at the horns. I think it would be fun to get them working again, and I'm really curious at how they work, so I'm actually going to start with those. I put power to them and they don't do anything, so I think now is a great opportunity to take them off and take them apart. So I'm going to start with that. I'm just going to take one off and see how that goes. Okay, this is an exciting moment. I didn't think I could actually take these apart because of the rivets, till I realized these 2 little decayed metal clips are holding it in place. And now, I was just hitting it with the screwdriver, and I'm hoping it'll wedge, I can just like wedge something in there. Actually, what am I doing? I have a camera stand now. Okay, now I can actually use 2 hands. Try and make sure you can actually see it this time. Just gonna keep tapping, I guess. It's more movement. Oh shoot, that screw is in the way. Use my handy dandy screwdriver. I'm excited. I have no idea what the inside of a horn actually looks like, but I don't really have any idea. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to look for. That is wild looking. It's got like a little resistor there. Huh. It's like brand new inside the cover, besides for all that rust. Yeah. That's pretty interesting though. Because I've never seen the inside of a horn before. I don't imagine a lot of people have. Oh, there's even a date stamped on top of it there. Something. March 2nd. I don't know what that says. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. It's essentially just like a big speaker. Or like a different kind of speaker. Cool. Well, I'm going to poke around this for a little bit, and if I see anything that looks like it might be causing issues, then I'll stop back and show, but it's going to take a little while to take all of that in. Okay, it's about like 15-20 minutes later. I've gotten that main assembly that was right here apart. Everything looks like it's in fairly good condition. There's a metal disc holding this on. This is hefty. Like that weighs a lot. And yeah, other than that, there's little pieces of, I think, Bakelite. Just being used as insulators. I'm being very careful with them. I don't know how fragile they are. I know it's very, but I still want to be careful. And other than that, I think I found a reason why it's not working. There's a little contact here that's fairly corroded. It was just in this one spot. You can kind of see where it was touching. I think it got hot. Because right there is where the contact touched, where that little burnt spot is. So I think I'm just going to clean everything up and put it back together, because I can't see anything that's wrong, and I don't think I can fix the coil or if there's anything else wrong. I could fix wiring like that. But I think that contact might be why it's not working. So I'm just going to clean everything up, put it back together very carefully, and I'll test. Okay, I got the science table all rigged up. I have it hooked to the Datsun's battery. This is the ground wire. I have it grounded straight to just this, the clean part. And I'm using some speaker wire as the positive. It's running to right here. And I'm going to put on headphones because I have a strong feeling this is going to be loud if it does work. It works. That was still loud with the headphones on. So it works. I wonder if it was just that corroded bit there. There's, I think I showed it. There was just a little bit of corrosion on like right here because it's a contact, but I'm surprised and at the same time not surprised that works. It's so simple. It's not really much to fail. But I'm happy it does work. I'm gonna unplug that stuff before I hit that again. So that's awesome. I think I'm just gonna clean this up. And yeah. Then I guess I'm gonna go start pulling apart the other one once I get that one back together. Alright, I got the second horn apart and cleaned up. This one held water, I think. Just a slight hint, a little bit of corrosion right there. Other than that, it looks pretty good. The contact in this one was surprisingly less corroded than the other one. Now, if you can figure that out, I'd be amazed, because I'm not quite sure. I think like the seal around this leaked slightly, because I think I still have the top. Yeah, this is the rust that came out of it. That's quite a bit. But I got that one all cleaned up. Came part a little harder. I wiped everything down with a rag soaked in oil, just to make sure that like any of the bolts or just like small contacts won't rust over again. That little plate in there too, I covered with oil. And yeah, I have it hooked back up to the Datsun. And just gonna pop you on the stand and we'll see if this one works. Alright. There. That one works way better. That one actually works really good. Yeah. I'm happy that both of them work. I think I'm going to poke around with the other one a little bit more, because that one seems to be... Well, that one on the stand right there seems to be fine. This one, I'm just going to make sure it actually does work before I put it back in the car, because I heard it go off. But I want to see if it's good like that one. So, just going to rewire this stuff up, finish off that one, and hopefully when I get back tomorrow, be able to put it in the car and start figuring out the wiring. It's the next day. I think there's a storm happening outside, I'm not quite sure. But I got both of the horns done. They both worked. I retested this one just to make sure. And I went through that one and I rubbed everything down with used motor oil just to stop the rust from seeping in. I made sure to put a good amount of oil around the seal so it'll kind of keep water out, hopefully. Yeah. I have to go to town because I looked at a wiring diagram for a 56 Plymouth Savoy, which is what that essentially is, the Dodge. And I need a horn relay which looks something like this. Now, the problem is, I couldn't find one. I don't have one. I went through my wonderful drawer of electronics over here, which is just a drawer jam-packed with like wires and small electronics, and I found nothing in there. So I'm going to test my luck with the stores in town and hope that they have one. And if they don't, then I guess I'm just going to try and find any sort of relay to use. Because I can use pretty much anything. I'd like to try and keep it fairly simple though. So, I'll be back once I get back from town. Okay, it's a little while later. It was only like a, half-hour drive. Got a relay. It's not the exact same as what the original one would be, because the original one I found you can buy it for $100. This was $20, and it's the exact same thing I need. All I needed was 4 pins. I just need a basic relay, and this is that. So now that that's all done, I'm going to go start figuring out my wiring situation, because this is gonna have to be wired up to the horns. I gotta mount the horns. I gotta make sure they're grounded properly. I gotta figure out how the horn button actually works in the car. So it's gonna be a bit to figure out, but I'll be back once the horns are back and mounted and I actually know how to wire everything. It's the next day and I've got my wiring situation figured out. Down here is the wire for the horn coming out the steering box, of all places. It goes all the way down the steering wheel shaft, or the steering shaft, all the way down. And it is a pain in the ass to get that thing all the way through, because it shrinks down at the bottom. So I spent about an hour getting that. But now that's out there, I can start wiring up everything. I have to run a wire from there up through here. And I think I'm gonna put the relay, I might put it over here, somewhere fairly easy to reach. Because I just have to run that one wire up, run power off of, I'm probably gonna have to add another ballast resistor, and then I just have to run 2 wires to the horn. So I'm going to start that, and once I'm done or close to done, I'll be back. Sorry for the wind. The storm's been going on for like 4 days now. It's nothing but wind. Anyway, I got all of the wiring done, I think. I have everything going through this little hole in here, going to this relay that I hooked up. And if I hit the horn button, it should work. I think I hooked up the power and everything. All right. I can hear the relay going off. So it's no power. I'm gonna figure this out and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I think I might have figured out what it was. I don't know if those horns are 12 volt or 6 volt, but they weren't going off of 6 volts of power, so I hooked it up to the 12 volt side now. Cool. It's surprisingly quiet in here. It's extremely loud outside, but that's really cool. Cool. So apparently it just needed 12 volts. So I'm not sure, because everything else in the car, like the original stuff, is all 6 volt. So I'm not sure why those are 12, but whatever. Man, that wind is really loud. Anyway, so yeah, that's all good. I'm happy that works. And my brake shoes came in. So now I have brand new shoes to go on the car. These things are huge. And they're actually new now, so I'm going to, I guess I'm just going to start taking the other ones off and put these on. I have the drum is still being resurfaced, so that should be ready by tomorrow, so I'll be able to work on it in a few days. And yeah, put a towel over this just to be safe. Cool. I don't think they're that hard to take out. Then again, I've never touched this before, so I don't actually know. I would imagine it's that hard, but I'll probably know by the time I'm done if it's hard or not. So I'm gonna start pulling this apart. I'll be back when I get the shoes off, hopefully. It's a couple hours later. I just managed to get one brake shoe off. I couldn't find online any guides or even any help on how to take the shoes off. So I kind of struggled myself with that for a couple hours. I eventually figured out what I'm supposed to do, and it was just this little clip on the ground here. The problem is this little clip is horrible to take out because it's free floating. So I struggled for 2 hours to get that out. And I just managed to get it out, and I managed to get the shoe off. The springs were the easiest part. And I don't know about that. That is how it is. The spring, it doesn't latch on anything. It just like wedges itself in that hole. I'm not gonna complain about it because that's how it was. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the other shoe off, because that one should be, well, actually I have to take that clip off, so I'll be back next week probably. Okay, it's a little while later. The second clip for the lower shoe came off so much easier. It actually stayed in position so I could chisel it out. And I got both the shoes on, and I got all the springs hooked back up to, pretty sure, the right location. I specifically kept them in the holes on the old ones until I put the new ones on so I would remember. And everything works well. Or everything works at least. So that should be all good. I think I'm gonna throw that towel I was covering this up back onto here. And I think I'm gonna go start the other one. And I might show that one, I might not. Who knows? Okay, so I'm starting the other side now. I just wanted to show you what it's actually supposed to look like and the difference between this side and the other side before I touched it. And I just want to show, if I pull up on that, that's like separated. That one I don't even have to touch. So I think that if the other side hadn't have let go, I think in like another week this side would have let go, because that's not that good. So I'm glad I ordered 4, because at least that'll give me my front brakes, and if it happens to the back brakes, then I'll order more, and at least I know what to expect when digging into the brakes. So I'm gonna do these up real quick, and then I'll have to get to adjusting the brakes actually. So that'll be interesting. Okay, I just finished this side. It was fairly easy actually. It was really quick because I learned on the driver's side, so second time, way easier. I just put my head through a cobweb. But it went on fairly well. I filled all the bearings with grease and whatnot. I didn't even have to adjust it because it was already adjusted for new pads, or for new shoes, so didn't have to do anything. I'm gonna have to adjust this side though, because I was fooling around with the top one, so that'll be fine. And yeah, now I just have to wait for the drum to be done being resurfaced, and then I just slap it on, and hopefully I'll be able to drive this again. I miss driving it. I really do. Because my battery's gone dead because I haven't started it in so long. And I miss having a car. I've been stuck driving the Datsun for a little over a month now, because the Jeep still had winter tires on. There was a heat wave, and I have to do an alignment on that. So I've been driving the Datsun for well over a month. I put like 600 miles on it in the last couple weeks. And yeah, I'd really like to have a car again. It's hard putting 3 people in one little truck. So I'll pick this back up whenever I get my drum back, so it'll probably be tomorrow, a couple days from now. It's a few days later, and the drum is back after being resurfaced. Feels nice. It's nice and, well, actually flat now, as opposed to having grooves all the way through it from the drum. And it's time to put it back in. I'm gonna wipe out the inside of it. I'm gonna put new grease in, of course. And then I get to go through the fun experience of adjusting the brakes, which I didn't have to do on the other one because, well, they were fairly new and I never touched it. However, on this, I was freaking around with that, which is the adjuster. So the bottom one I didn't touch, but I'm gonna have to adjust the top one out. So there's a special tool to do it. I'm not gonna spend the money on that tool nor make it. I know how to, I just don't feel like it. So I'm just gonna bring that one out to a point where it just starts to touch the drum, or I'll adjust them both out ever so slightly. It's hard to say what I'll do, but hopefully I can get it done and it will work. So I'll either be back like halfway through or when it's done. It's about half an hour later and I got it all back together. It's not fully adjusted. I couldn't get the bottom adjuster to move, but it still drags like the slightest bit. You can kind of hear it. So that's all good in my opinion. Really anything is better than what I had, and that's all I'm really going for. If I can stop going downhill while in gear, then that's going to be amazing. Because it got to the point at the end where I had to go into neutral just to stop on flat ground. So it's pretty much anything will be better. And now I'm going to start it and probably just going to back it up. I don't know. I'm going to move it around. I'm going to get it started up and move it. I think my battery might be a little cooked though. I don't know. I'm also going to move the jack out of the way, so I'll be back when I'm ready. I think my battery might be cooked because I charged it and ran it 2 days ago. The battery is completely flat. It's completely dead. Because I just turned it on, you can see radio just started all over again. I don't know if you can see that. Or it says 12:02. Because it just started. I'm not surprised that the battery's dead. I'm pretty sure that's the date up there. And if I'm right, that's April 2009. If I'm not wrong, the current year is 2024, so that's 15 years. This battery is almost as old as that car. So I'm not really surprised it's dead. Yeah, the battery's cooked. So, I'm going to go to town and get a new battery, I guess. Because that's not going to hold anymore. I had issues with it a while ago. This battery's been like stone dead 4 times or something. I just keep jumping it with 72 volts. And it just keeps coming back. I think this is finally the end though. So I'm going to make a quick run to town and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I got a new battery. It's a slightly bigger one, actually. Which is really good because that little battery was kind of lacking for this engine and all the electronics and whatnot. So I'm happy I have that, and it's also like the original style of the battery I took out of this and I put in the Jeep. So the posts are now on that side, so I can actually close the hood now and it won't hit anything on the battery, which is nice. And I can lift it up slightly with some wood if I want to, just so it avoids the powered steering pump. It should be fine right now. It's clamped down to the point where if I move it, it moves the entire car. So I think that should be fine. Now, I should be able to start it, if there is any power in there. Widen the camera out a bit. There. The engine actually spins over a lot faster now that there's power. So, Time to see. It stops. I'm gonna let it warm up a little bit. I'm gonna go on a drive. I don't know why it's like so reverberating in there. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this warm up and I'm gonna go for a little spin. I gotta let the brakes wear in. They're not, I don't think they're, they gotta wear in first, of course. They're brand new. So, I'll be back in a little bit. Well, I'm back from my little drive. The brakes feel very, very good. I think a little bit of adjustment and I'll be stopping pretty good because I can stop going downhill now fairly fast, so that's really good. And now that that's all warm, I've been meaning to do an oil change ever since I saw what kind of sludge was in the engine from when we replaced the plenum gasket. So I want to change the oil. I also got some coolant that I put in because I've just been running water this entire time just to flush it out. So I'm gonna do that. And there was also back here, I was trying to figure out how my marker light works. I'm not quite sure what's wrong. That's the connector just to go into there, and this is the wire. This is the wire for the markers. There's power here. It merges right here, so both these wires merge together. There is no power coming out of that wire, because this power comes from right here. It's been merged together so that we can suck power off of that line, bring it up to this tail light and the license plate lamp here. But for some reason there's no power like going past that, and I don't know why. Because it goes, if I chase it down, it splits off. One of them goes to whatever that is, and the other one goes to here. So I gotta figure that out. I don't know what could be wrong, because it used to work. It just lost power one day when I pulled in the driveway. So that'll take a little bit of digging, but for now, I'm gonna do my oil change and whatnot. I can think about the tail lamp while I'm doing that. So I'll be back once that stuff's done. Okay, I got the light fixed. I'm not sure why my first thought was not to check if the bulb's burnt out, which it wasn't. But there was a little bit of corrosion on it. So I replaced the bulb, and now if I pinch the wires together, that turns on. So now I have to go through and actually fix all of the wiring I ripped apart for no reason. I'm just not used to like the bulbs being burnt out. I'm used to the wiring being screwed up. So I guess now I know. Other than that, I did the oil change yesterday. I still haven't done the coolant. And I also have to reset the computer because I screwed up. I accidentally reset it while it was hot, so it doesn't run. But other than that, I'm gonna fix up my wiring and then probably move on to the last thing of the cigarette lighter. So that should be fairly easy. All my wiring's there. I think I just need to make like a little washer or bushing. But that should be fairly easy. And I'll probably do that after the coolant or before. I don't know. I'll be back whenever. Alright, I'm starting with the power socket before I do anything else, because this should be fairly easy. I already have the wiring done. It's somewhere under the dash. And all I have to do is I just have to unscrew this and put it into that hole. Problem is it doesn't close down far enough, so it kind of rattles. So I have to make like a little washer or a bushing, just so that it doesn't shake as much, and just to tighten that gap up. So I'm gonna go search around the garage and see what I can find. Okay, that actually took a lot less time than I expected. It's been about 4 minutes since the last clip, and it's all in. I just put the last wire in. I also found the cigarette lighter in the back. It's essentially brand new if you really think about it. So I'm gonna see if this doesn't blow up the car. Uh-oh. Okay, I might have to fix that up a little bit more. I'm just gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna go grab a charger real quick and see if that works. It's a few days later, and I tried the the socket there, and there's no power. It's probably a wiring issue under the floor, because all the wiring's like right under there where that's coming out of. So it's probably something to do with that, and I don't really feel like figuring it out because it's gonna be a pain, and it would probably just be easier off to run like a fuse line from the battery just to that instead. So that's probably what I'll do. In the meantime, I found the ashtray in one of the back sheds, so I'm gonna put that in because there's a little bit of a void here. So that would look pretty good once it's in, at least. And I drove this the other day, and I don't know how this keeps happening to me, but the window latch broke off. This is the second time I've had a window latch break off, because the Datsun, the button here, it snapped in half and shot across the truck, and in this, the base of it just snapped right off. I don't even know how it happened, but it did. So now I have to figure out how this all goes back together, of which I'm not entirely sure. I think I might have to like take the window out of the trim, because it connects right in here with that little piece there. I don't know if you can see it too well. So I think I'll have to take that entire window apart, which isn't going to be fun. So I'm going to leave that for a while. But yeah, I'm going to get the ashtray done, and I think that'll be all I'm going to do for this video. There. I think that looks pretty good. And now I even have a little bit of storage. The cool thing about this, if I press down there, I can just pop it out. So I can still have that hole if I want to. I can just pop it back in, and bam. Doesn't rattle around at all, so that's all good. Takes a little bit of force to pop it open, but that's fine. I probably should put some oil on it. Though it might get better with use, probably will. Whoops. So yeah, that's all pretty cool. Now I gotta figure out how to do a glove box. Because that would be a lot of storage. I'd be able to put my phone and wallet in there while I'm driving, which would be nice instead of just putting it on the seat. But small victories. That's a good change, having a cigarette lighter just filling in all these holes in the dash. Because I like the look of it a bit more. It just looks more complete instead of having that there. So that's all good. And I'm quite happy with the work on this video, because I got the horn working, which still actually works. Sounds like a train. I kind of forgot what else I've done. It's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks since I started this. I did the horns, cigarette lighter. I'm not sure what else I did. I don't know. It's in the video, you'll see it. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.